I know you got to get out of here, Pete.
Yeah,
so
this is my last one. I think the biggest issue facing America is the wage gap. Salaries have been stagnant. CEO pays have skyrocketed. How can we convince corporations to pay higher salaries when their responsibility is to stockholders?
Well, it can't just be pretty please. I mean, this is where if the corporation, we have to either change the incentives on the front end so that there are tax advantages to taking better care of your people. Or we have to be ready to do it through policy, where this country says you're going to make $100 billion in wealth off of work that 100,000 people working for you generated. More of that needs to be going to them. And by the way, these things are actually related. I think there's a way to deal in American citizens on kind of like a dividend off of the value that's being created from AI. And from, I don't want to take it down a whole rabbit hole, but if you imagine.
UBI kind of thing?
Well, how's that?
Like a universal basic income kind of thing?
It could be. There's different ways to structure it. But I think it's giving everybody a share in the overall value that's being created by technologies, which again rest on technologies that the taxpayer paid for in the first place back in the 60s. So why shouldn't we all get a share?
Yeah, we're investing it.
Instead of it all going to this tiny handful of super, super wealthy people who are consolidating their own power. The same way the president's consolidating his political power. You got these, I don't even just like normal billionaires, but like mega billionaires consolidating their power, right? We have to have a tax policy that does that. We have to have a system that requires people who amass that kind of wealth to be sharing it with citizens. I have a lot of respect for entrepreneurs who create things, and they should be hugely rewarded when they create things that are valuable. But they created those things based partly on infrastructure that all of us paid for, right? And by infrastructure, I don't just mean roads and bridges. I mean national security. I mean things like inventing the internet or mRNA vaccine technology or whatever it is. But more broadly, and this is both on the substance and the politics, I think you're naming something that's hugely important, which is the inequality in this country. It doesn't get talked about enough. It has gotten worse pretty much our entire lives. Yeah. And no republic has ever survived this level of inequality for long and remained a republic. That kind of income inequality leads to inequality in power, which leads to political instability, which leads to some of the things I think we're experiencing right now as a country. And if we don't get a handle on that, and it can absolutely be dealt with in a way that is consistent with a strong economy and business doing well. We know that because there were times in our history, including the middle of the last century, when tax policy was asking more of the wealthiest. And also there was a lot of economic growth and a lot of productivity growth. So it can be done.